No cameras were ready. No reporters expected it. But in a matter of seconds, BTS's Taehyung transformed the entire airport into the epicenter of the K-pop world. Hello everyone. Welcome back to K-pop News, the place where every small moment of K-pop idols turns into global conversation. Today we'll be discussing an incident that initially seemed simple, but its impact immediately rippled through the entire Korean entertainment industry. That moment occurred when BTS's Taehyung, a figure who never fails to command attention wherever he goes, suddenly appeared at the airport looking far from glamorous, yet it stole more attention than any official event. Wearing an oversized gray hoodie, a black mask covering part of his face, and white earphones casually hanging from his jacket, Taehyung walked calmly toward the departure gate. But it was precisely that calmness, that simplicity, and that deliberate lack of prominence that instantly silenced the Korean media. Several eyewitnesses said that the previously bustling airport atmosphere suddenly seemed to stop for a second when he appeared. There were no studio lights, no fancy wardrobe or stage outfits, but his global superstar aura immediately permeated the surroundings. The photographers on location were initially unaware of the man in the hoodie, but as soon as he approached and his eyes appeared from behind his mask, they immediately realized what was happening. In less than a minute, the sound of camera shutters began to sound irregular, overlapping, each photographer trying to get the best angle, knowing a moment like this wouldn't come twice. Taehyung himself remained calm. His hands were tucked into his hoodie pockets, his step steady, his body slightly hunched over, like someone simply wanting to pass through the airport peacefully. But as usual, the world wouldn't let him get away with it. Korean media outlets released the photos within minutes. No matter his simple outfit, no matter that his face was almost entirely hidden by a mask and hoodie, they knew that every appearance was big news. Online news outlets began popping up with flashy headlines, discussing how Taehyung managed to capture attention despite deliberately keeping a low profile. Many outlets described his appearance as unconcealable charm, a rare phenomenon for a public figure. Fans and netizens immediately flooded social platforms with comments that Taehyung doesn't need to wear flashy clothes to stand out. He just needs to show up. Interestingly, much discussion arose about how Taehyung's aura was so different from other idols. Even though he was wearing a thin hoodie that looked wrinkled in places and a plain black mask with no major branding, his look still looked like an editorial from an international fashion magazine. Some Korean fashion analysts even said that this simplicity was more powerful than a planned fashion concept. It wasn't about the clothes, but about how he carried them. With a steady stride and a slightly unkempt expression, his eyes obscured by messy hair, Taehyung inadvertently created a new aesthetic, the effortless superstar. On the other hand, the global army immediately reacted strongly. In less than 2 hours, his airport photo was trending on Twitter in 12 countries, including Indonesia, Korea, Japan, the Philippines, the United States, and several European countries. Many fans felt this moment served as a powerful reminder of how one can have influence without saying anything. Even with just his hoodie pulled down over his head, Taehyung still looked like someone who had just finished filming an advertisement for anonymous luxury. The media reaction was equally intense. They began writing analyses about how small changes in idol airport style could influence fashion trends in the coming weeks. Many outlets stated that Taehyung's gray hoodie would likely be on the most searched list this week. Some Korean journalists even called Taehyung's appearance at the airport a testament to the powerful appeal of a superstar. There was no event scheduled, no advance notice from fan sites, and no indication that he would appear that day. Yet, the impact was greater than when an idol attends a formal red carpet event. His brief appearance transformed the airport into a film set, as if everyone forgot they were in a public space and not a drama set. And interestingly, while the world was still busy discussing those airport photos, a new phenomenon emerged that made Taehyung's name increasingly dominate the news. Many journalists and industry observers began to highlight how this simple appearance revealed a unique dynamic between Taehyung and the public. On the one hand, he is one of the most influential idols in the world. His every move can generate millions of online interactions. But on the other, he still seems like someone who simply wants to go about their day without much attention. This contradiction is what continues to make his airport appearances so iconic and prominent, even without any explicit attempt to be the center of attention. According to reports from several Korean media outlets, the moment was dubbed a silent takeover, a term describing how Taehyung was able to dominate the public conversation without uttering a single word. There was no brief interview, no interaction with reporters, not even the grand gestures that idols typically make when passing through an airport. Yet the entire digital space seemed to be filled with the spark of energy from that figure walking with a relaxed stride. Some online commentators wrote that the airport even felt different that day, as if the lights were concentrating on Taehyung's slowly disappearing steps toward the check-in area. But the story doesn't end there. After the airport photos went viral, many fans began comparing this moment to his previous appearances. Some said that Taehyung's aura seemed more mature, more grown-up, and stronger. Even though he tried to appear anonymous, his charm still cut through all disguises. And the most interesting part was how the world saw the shift in Taehyung's energy. No longer just an idol performing in a glamorous boy band style, but a man who exuded a calm elegance, maturity, and an increasingly elusive mystery. In several fan community posts, many noticed small details that might have previously been overlooked. A hand gesture slightly pressing down on his hoodie, a more focused look in his eyes, and even the way he put his earphones in, as if he wanted to remain alone in his thoughts. These small details became a big topic because many sensed that Taehyung was entering a new phase of his life. A more introspective, calmer phase, but still exuding the same magnetism. Not only fans, but several fashion analysts also weighed in, offering their perspectives on Taehyung's airport style this time around. They revealed that his appearance demonstrated a new trend gaining popularity among international public figures: intentional anonymity, the concept of presenting a style that appears unprepared, but is actually highly thought out. And Taehyung, without realizing it, became one of the most prominent examples of this style. There were no flashy brand statements, no bright colors, but the overall look felt powerful and impactful. Some media experts even said that this is the power of a megastar. They don't need to force an impression, because their mere presence is enough to create a powerful narrative. This also explains why Korean media felt the need to cover Taehyung's appearance extensively, even though he only walked for a few minutes at the airport. And ironically, the more Taehyung wanted to blend in, the stronger the spotlight became on him. The resulting wave of reaction grew. Thousands of fans began tagging similar hoodie brands, inquiring about the brand of his mask, and even discussing the possible reasons why Taehyung chose such a simple style that day. One fan wrote, "If Taehyung intentionally wanted to appear unobtrusive, unfortunately, that's impossible. Even in a shabby hoodie, he still looks like someone who just finished an editorial shoot." The quote then went viral, with many major media outlets citing it as aptly describing the situation. Speculation, however, began to emerge. Some fans suspected that Taehyung was headed to an important location, perhaps for a personal appointment, an unannounced project, or perhaps a quick trip to prepare for something. His silence, reserved demeanor, and brisk yet unhurried steps sparked widespread curiosity. The media began to speculate, while fans tried to decipher the meaning behind his appearance. But beneath all the analysis and speculation, one thing emerged and became the common thread throughout the public reaction: Taehyung's increasingly powerful aura.